Welcome to the Divorce the IRS Podcast, the retirement income planning podcast designed specifically for those who want to pay the least amount of taxes possible and build a retirement income that lasts. Inspired by the best-selling book, Divorce the IRS, you get to go behind the scenes with financial planner, author, and speaker Jimmy Miller. Learn how to set yourself up to pay the least amount of taxes in retirement when you'll need your money the most. And now, here's your host, Jimmy Miller.
Welcome to the second episode of Divorce the IRS Podcast. Today, we jump into an introduction about divorcing the IRS and some of the topics this podcast will cover, as well as learn a bit more about how big a deal taxes are in our financial lives. Something I have learned is that no matter how patriotic, I have never met anyone happy about paying a tax bill, especially one they didn't expect. I suppose it's happened, though, like when someone wins the lottery or something like that. I do meet people all the time who are happy to get money back from the IRS, though. They don't usually understand that it's either their own money being returned without interest, or it's a loan they will have to repay one day, most of the time with interest, unfortunately. We will explore why this is in a future episode called Are You Borrowing Money from the IRS? So stay tuned for that. I find that unfortunately most Americans fail to create or keep real wealth. It's not that they plan to fail, but that they fail to plan. There's a myriad of reasons for this, but the one we will explore in detail in this podcast is among the largest, the IRS. Did you know that Americans have to work on average the first 107 days of each year just to take care of their federal tax burden? And even longer if you pay state tax as well. This led to the Tax Foundation creating something called the Tax Freedom Day in America, the day when the nation as a whole has earned enough money to pay its total tax bill for the year. In 2025, Tax Freedom Day was near the end of April. This fact, along with tax traps or tax time bombs waiting for the unprepared, has led the IRS to take a larger share of people's money than necessary. Listening to this podcast can be a path to success, as defined by you, that can only be achieved with proper, modern financial planning and forward thinking. It requires you to save as much as possible through the lens of your entire life ahead, not just this year or the next. It needs a deliberate direction to minimize your obligations to the IRS, both in life and after. It will be an odyssey, preparing you financially for all the things life may throw at you, so your wealth creation has minimal interruptions and no fatal experiences. There is a peace of mind that comes with knowing there won't be any hidden financial surprises in retirement with respect to tax bills, and knowing that even if tax rates increase, you won't be affected. We'll discuss that as well in an upcoming episode called Exploding Tax Rates. If you want to understand and avoid the most common tax problems, or tax time bombs as I think of them, that seriously impede the wealth creation and retention process in America, this podcast is for you. The IRS has become very good at figuring out ways to tax you and to take your money. Some of their rules or tricks deliberately entice you to set yourself up to pay them even more when you least expect it. This podcast is designed to be educational and in an easy-to-understand conversational format. It's not designed to be a comprehensive financial blueprint or provide specific recommendations. This podcast also does not give specific tax, legal, or financial advice. It will point out the basics of what you should know about the most common tax time bombs and can save you a lot of money when applied correctly to your own financial life. Working with a competent fiduciary financial planner who specializes in tax planning, along with a competent tax professional, will compound the positive effects of this podcast. The earlier you are in your journey to financial independence, the more this podcast can help. The solutions and strategies presented can be implemented at any point in life, but due to government restrictions and contribution limits, the more time you have to implement these strategies, the better off you'll be. Tax time bombs can be a nasty experience, leaving a permanent mark on your bank account and on you as a person. You may have already experienced one or more, or know someone who has. Maybe you think it'll never happen to you, or you know how to avoid them. However, it's the ones you never see coming until it's too late that hurt the worst. In the next few episodes, we start with a look at the full tax picture and how the government taxes us through hidden taxes on top of all the taxes we know about. Then we look at a common tax misconception, along with the concept of the three tax buckets. Once this is clear, we move into understanding why tax deductions and tax-deferred accounts may not be in your best interest, at least not as your only retirement saving strategy. I also explain why tax preparers and most financial advisors, though well-intentioned, are probably harming you with their advice. We also tackle another prevalent myth, being in a lower tax bracket in retirement. After we build on that base in our first several episodes, we will start to discuss the 8 biggest tax time bombs people set up for themselves, usually unintentionally, and how to avoid them. Each tax time bomb episode will include strategies you can implement to defuse it. If you only have a short time to get as much from this podcast as possible, start with this section of episodes. After we get through the 8 tax time bombs, I explain how to find your ideal number, which is the exact amount of money you should have in tax-deferred accounts upon reaching retirement. This number will help you take advantage of your standard deduction to the fullest and get you as close to the 0% tax bracket in retirement as possible. We will also explore various Roth strategies, like conversions and the backdoor and mega backdoor Roth, along with life insurance retirement plans as an alternative strategy to consider. Then, how the concepts of Divorce the IRS apply to FIRE, financial independence to retire early, as well as real estate and die broke strategies. After all that, we will have episodes on 3 detailed case studies that will help to put it all together for you. We will also have an episode on how all of this works for Americans who live overseas or are married to someone from another nationality. We will also have an episode or 2 to help out any foreign nationals here in America and what they should be considering with their money and retirement planning while working in the United States. By subscribing and following along with this podcast, you will gain the knowledge you need to avoid these wealth-destroying pitfalls, and you'll be able to turn the tables on the IRS. You'll have the foundation to create a plan to minimize your total lifetime tax payments, allowing you to keep most of what you did without for all those years. When people start early enough with their planning, a 0% tax bracket throughout all of retirement is possible if the principles in this podcast are applied correctly. I hope that can be you. I have to say again, though, that as everyone's situation is different, this podcast is designed to be educational. It shouldn't be considered tax, financial, or legal advice. Consult a qualified fiduciary financial advisor, ideally one who specializes in tax-free retirement planning, and your tax professional to discuss your unique situation. You may also contact us at Baobab Wealth, an independent fee-based financial advisory practice I founded in 2015. We would be happy to discuss helping you with these issues within the context of a comprehensive financial plan. Let's end this episode with some fun facts you may not know about taxes. First, in 2024, the U.S. federal, state, and local governments collected a combined total of more than $5.1 trillion in taxes. Also, taxpayers lose out on millions every year by not filing returns. In 2019, Americans gave up over $1.5 billion in refunds owed to them by not filing. Americans also enjoy some of the lowest tax rates in the developed world. According to the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, in 2023, the U.S. ranked 32nd out of 38 developed countries for tax burden. Also, Americans must file and pay taxes in America even if they don't live in America. The U.S. is one of only 2 countries in the world that taxes its citizens worldwide. If you follow along with this podcast, it won't be long till you feel pretty good about your understanding of foundational tax concepts. You will understand the tax time bombs waiting to explode in your life and how to defuse them. Most importantly, you will see that it is possible to divorce the IRS and retire tax-free, as long as you plan for it. I'll see you in the next episode, where we start by examining why paying as little federal and state tax is so important, as these are not the only taxes we pay in life. There are actually many hidden taxes lurking everywhere.
Want even more ideas, tools, and resources on how to navigate the financial life? Check out all the resources on the Divorce the IRS website at divorce-the-irs.com or the Baobab Wealth website at baobabwealth.com, and subscribe to the blog to stay up to date on issues affecting retirement income planning. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Baobab Wealth and Baobab Wealth Abroad are DBAs of Baobab Wealth LLC, a Florida-registered investment advisor. This podcast is designed for general education purposes only and shouldn't be taken as legal, investment, or tax advice. You should seek out a qualified tax professional or licensed financial advisor to determine what is best for your personal situation.